Hey guys, Desolator Magic here with a very overdue video. Sorry, I got really busy yesterday. And today we're covering the Commander front cards, so the commanders of the decks, for the 5 decks that are coming out along with Strixhaven, which are Commander 99 plus 1 singleton decks that are not legal in Standard despite saying Strixhaven, and also aren't legal in Brawl, despite being Brawl decks. Boy, that'll be a real treat to try to explain if you're a local game store owner. But it says Strixhaven on it. Why can't I play with it? Because it's from Strixhaven, but it's not legal because they were too lazy to make their own Commander 2021 thing. So they just took Reject Overflow crap and threw it into these. I mean, that's how I'd explain it. So anyway, let's start with Adrix and Nev Twin Casters. Oh god, it's the new, what the hell are their names? I just call them Wham. Isn't it Will and Kenrith or something? Yeah, you know, Wham. Anyway, this is a 4-cost 2/2 with Ward 2, one of the better mechanics made. Very, very appropriate in Commander when you don't want your commander to be targeted quite so easily, but also you don't want to have a completely broken hexproof one. And it just simply states if one or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead. So, I mean, when I see green-blue, I don't think token flood. But I suppose if you open it up to any card ever printed, you could get something together with, 99 more cards. I usually think either white-green for sure, or white-red if you want to go tribal boost. Well, then there's like Sapperlings, and there's a lot of green-black. But I don't know, this is probably something you could create. I mean, you could also just do like token cloning, where you clone a card but it becomes a token or whatever. I don't know, it'll be interesting to see what they actually put in this deck, but as a front card, I mean, it just does what it does, and then it's, I'd say highly susceptible at a 2/2, but then it has Ward 2, so I guess it's not true. So, yeah, I mean, interesting. Very good use of Ward. I don't think this is going to be the new, amazing, most popular commander ever made, but it does what it does. What it does is hyper powerful, and not much more to that. The best thing is they can pay 2 more to target it, and then you counterspell it anyway. So next up, we got Brina the Demagogue. So it's a Bird Warlock, a 3-cost 1/3 with flying, and whenever a player attacks one of your opponents, if that opponent has more life than another of your opponents, that attacking player draws a card. And you put 2 1/1 counters on a creature you control. Gonna have to run that by me one more time. Let me just reread that. So one of the other players in your probably multiplayer game, otherwise why would you even run this, they attack someone other than you. So it says one of your opponents. There you go. If they attack you, trigger doesn't go off, nothing happens. So among your opponents, if the one they attacked has the highest life total, then the attacker draws a card, but then also you get 2 1/1 counters on a creature you control, and they know this. This is the weakest disincentive I've ever seen. This doesn't do a damn thing with the rest of the deck, I would assume. This is garbage. This is complete and utter garbage. Let's compare this to my blue-white Isperia deck, where if you swing at me, you are going to pay. Those creatures are getting put on the top, the bottom of your library. They're going back to hand. They're going to get exiled. I'm going to turn them into 1/1s. I'm going to steal them. I'm going to gain life for how much they would have hit me for. I mean, my whole deck is just a minefield of if you attack me, you're going to lose that hand. You'll be pulling back a bloody stump. Literally nobody got that reference, unless you're into campy Canadian children's horror shows. I'll be honest with you, I don't even remember which one. It was just one of them. So yeah, this is a dumpster fire. I wouldn't play this at all. I'd rather play Eiley. Next up, Osgir the Reconstructor. Now I was looking at the background image and I'm like, is he the world's tallest dwarf? But no, it says he's a giant, which just look like dwarves. It's the facial hair. Shout out to every RPG ever with the balls to put in a, quote, giant dwarf. Like a 7-foot tall dwarf. You really gotta be top tier classy to do that. Anyway, it's a 4/4 for 4 with vigilance, and you pay 1, sack an artifact. Target creature you control gets +2/+0 till end of turn. Probably not generally worth it, but if you got a bunch of like Thopters, okay, whatever. You don't have to tap them or anything, it's just 1 and sack it, so that's pretty cheap. You could really jack something up and you could do it at instant speed, so I mean, that's not too bad for like an overflow boost, I guess. Especially if you just literally swung with a bunch of Ornithopters, couple got blocked, we'll sack them, boom. Basically, they all got through. In fact, +2 instead of +1. So you pay X and tap him, exile an artifact card with mana value X from your graveyard, create 2 tokens that are copies of the exiled card. Activate this only at sorcery speed. That's pretty wild. It's not really overpowered, especially for Commander, but it's pretty freaking good. You still have to, 1, somehow get it in your graveyard, and 2, still pay for it, but when you pay for it, and then you tap him so you can't use him in combat, so okay, commander damages out, whatever. With that trade-off, you get 2 of them for only paying for them once. Not bad. I don't know how they'll stack up against other commanders. I haven't played like even vaguely competitive commander in a long time, but I don't know, it seems okay. I feel like I've seen some horribly broken ones on the front of commander products in the last 5 years though, so I don't think this really stacks up. Next up we got Willowdusk Essenseer. It's a 3-cost 3/3 Dryad Druid, because of course it is. And then if you pay 1 and tap them, you choose another target creature, put a number of 1/1 counters on it equal to the amount of life you gained this turn, or the amount of life you lost this turn, whichever is greater. Activate only as a sorcery. Holy balls, that's powerful. Now without white, it's like, okay, whatever, and then just going down, that's kind of dangerous. But you get any like black flying creature with lifelink, the game's basically over if they can't remove it. Or this, I mean, because that's basically like Divine Mantle, or no, the opposite. That new version of Sunbond, you know, where every life you gain equals 1 counter put on that creature. That's basically what this is, except like bigger. Like it's wide. Like if you have 3 creatures with lifelink, guess what? They all count. Oh, which actually I just realized isn't bigger. That is how Sunbond works. Anyway, this is insane. Basically, 1 creature is getting absolutely flippin' huge for 1 mana if anything happened to your life total this turn. And it doesn't even matter what turn it is, whether it's your turn or not. Oh, wait, no, it does. Activate only as a sorcery. Okay, good, because that would have been bonkers. I will say, the probability of you losing life on your own turn isn't terrifically likely with nobody swinging at you. But, I mean, gaining life, sure. And, I mean, you've even got, like, crazy cards like Life's Legacy. Quite possibly the card I've mentioned the most in the history of my channel. If you're not familiar, 2 mana, green sorcery, rare, M15 only. As an additional cost to cast Life's Legacy, sack a creature, draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power. Okay, I guess there's a different card than Life's Legacy that also says, and then gain life equal to it, so whatever that was, Mega Life Legacy, I assume it's called. But there are green cards that say, sack it, you know, draw some cards, and or, there's different versions of it, gain life equal to its power or toughness. In fact, there's also black cards that do that. So, like, okay, it's not out of the question that you would just be like, giant card advantage, giant land spike, and then also giant, 10 counters on my creature. So you mix that with tribal, with some sort of lifelink options like the Staff of Shadow, or like you go trample mixed with like resurrection or something, or just like a flying lifelink, or really any lifelink. Boy, this thing would be insane. This is clearly, in my opinion, the absolute strongest out of all of them, and I haven't even read the next one. So moving on, we finally got Zephyr, Thunder Conductor, who is apparently trying to steal the hairstyle from my character in Magic Legends. And they don't mean he's conducting electricity, he's actually conducting an orchestra, which is kind of funny. I feel like maybe this is kind of like a subtle reference to, like, there's some sheet music for some song written a long time ago where one of the instruments called for is a cannon and you blast it off. I've seen ones, don't know if they're real or not, they call for a gunshot. So I guess they're just like, oh, he's going to add a thunderclap. Which usually the conductor doesn't play an instrument, so it kind of falls apart. But everybody at Wizards has a useless fine arts degree, I assume. So I assume that's where this came from. So anyway, this is a 1/4 for 4 legendary creature, human shaman, of course, with Magecraft. Oh boy. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, scry 1. If that spell's mana value is 5 or greater, create a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. If that spell's mana cost is 10 or greater, which that's a bit of a stretch, but you never know, it's commander. Zephyr Thunder Collector, who the hell is that? His name is Conductor, deals 10 damage to an opponent chosen at random. Yeah, you get that tenor off. Kaboom. But like I said, people have pointed this out. I'm not the one who discovered this. We all know I would have read right past this. The last trigger is, if that spell's mana value is 10 or greater, Zephyr Thunder Collector deals 10 damage. His name is Zephyr Thunder Conductor. They referenced like the wrong name. I'm sure it got through their basic Microsoft Word spell check because collector is technically a word, and they're just too lazy and incompetent to proofread it correctly. I mean, they've had like 2 words smashed together that didn't even form a real word, and they left that in. I think the Monarch token didn't that say like if you are the Monarch or something. It's just pathetic. They just clearly don't give a crap. Editing wise, this would be an absolute nightmare to try to catch this, because you're not really looking for accurate word associations. You're just looking for like spelling errors and, blatant stuff. So this would be rough, but it's like, this is just another in a long list of blatant careless mistakes they've made on cards. And this one, I mean, it's not even another card referring to it. So it's not like, oh, another card references it and then we changed the card name. We forgot to update that one because it's a completely separate card. Oops. No, they just type things carelessly and don't read them after they type them. I mean, what else could it be? So anyway, this card's interesting if you're just going to sit there and spell spam, but I don't know, it doesn't strike me as like amazingly good. It does strike me as yet another black eye for Wizards that makes them look absolutely incompetent. It's literally about once every week or two at this point. No joke. So those are the Commander front cards for the Commander 2021 set, which is also Strixhaven themed because they wanted to confuse people on purpose, I assume. Why else would they do it? And there's really only one that looks competitive, not that I have a vast knowledge of competitive Commander. But hey, Commander is about fun. If you want to pick something because you're like, I want to do something with that looks fun and I want to play it, go for it. It's more about having fun and generating interesting board states and just hanging out with your friends than it is about winning. However, if you select Brina, you're out of your damn mind. That card's unplayable. I mean, there's leeway, but sometimes you're just wrong. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you guys next time.